Touchdown with Aaron Masemola. On the bench with local legends. Your questions, your heroes.
Welcome to the Touchdown with Aaron Masemola. And yes, it is an amazing opportunity for us to chat all things rugby again. South Africans are brewing with excitement as we await the restart of rugby this coming weekend. And joining me is a Toyota Cheetahs player. He plays in the lock position and has also played rugby internationally, playing both in France as well as in Japan as well. His name is Carl Wegner. Carl, how are you doing today?
Aaron, well, thanks to yourself. Thanks for having me today. I appreciate it.
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you so much for joining me. There's a lot of excitement throughout South Africa. Rugby is back in South Africa. I mean, we've seen rugby in New Zealand. We've seen rugby in Australia. We're currently seeing rugby in England as well. How are the boys feeling? And I know that you guys recently started your contact training sessions as well. How have the training sessions been going?
I think the excitement is there. I think everyone was excited the last few weeks when we started doing the contact training. I think the sessions went well on Saturdays and Friday when we did a few chuckers against each other. So I think everyone was excited just to get out there again and not have a training-wise session, but rather a game-like session, just to get the bodies warm up again. I think there was a few bumps and bruises, but I think everyone's ready to go once the season will start in 2 weeks' time.
Absolutely fantastic. And I think everybody in South Africa is waiting to just watch you guys play some rugby again. But looking a little bit at your rugby journey, I mean, you were born and raised in Ficksburg and then you went to Grey College. And now that's a massive school in terms of South African rugby. It's one of the best rugby schools in the world, some might argue. How important has Grey College been in your rugby career?
For me, I think that was a big part of me growing up. My father always had this thing in him that he wanted me to go to Grey College, and eventually I went there, and I think that was a stepping stone in my career. I think that's where everything started for me. I think there were some tough years in school as well, not always making the A team, sometimes B team, but getting out stronger, and I think that was a stepping stone for me going forward and giving me the opportunity to come to Free State as a youngster and getting some time with the junior structure at Free State. So I think that was very important for me going to Grey eventually. I think if I stayed in a different school, it would have been a different picture eventually.
Definitely. I would love to touch on one thing that you mentioned there. You mentioned that you didn't always play in the A team and you weren't always like one of the star players. How important is it for young players to be able to manage that? Because sometimes we want to be the best, we want to play for the A team and things don't always go our way. How important is it for us to be able to deal with those disappointing times?
For me personally, I handled it in the way that I always brought myself back to the thought that I'm doing it for the fun of it. The important thing is we play rugby to enjoy it. We play it just because that's how we grew up. That's what you wanted to do since a little boy. Everyone wants to play rugby. Everyone wants to touch the ball. So I think as a small kid still in school, you mustn't take it too serious. I think you must just take every year as it comes. Eventually, you'll get there if it's meant to be. You'll get there, but as long as you just do your side every time you get the opportunity and when you get out on the field, you must just enjoy it. I think that's something that's important for me in rugby and in life is everything you do it 100% and enjoy it.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I think one thing that you did enjoy is then moving on to the Cheetahs, the younger structures at the Cheetahs as well. Looking at one of the big franchises in South African rugby, the Toyota Cheetahs, how important have they been in terms of laying the foundation for the rest of your rugby career, especially as a young player?
Yes, as a young player, I got a few opportunities under 19, under 21, and eventually some injuries. Naka gave me the opportunity to have a Currie Cup season with the big team, the senior team, and then I think that opened some doors for me, giving me the opportunity to get out on the field with stars like Adrian Strauss, all the big names that a young boy only dreams of playing with and sharing the field with, and I think they gave me opportunity to further my career in rugby. So I have a lot of respect for Free State, for the Cheetahs, for Naka, for Harvey's, all the guys that gave me the opportunity in 2012. So, yeah, I think they made the path for me going forward in rugby.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. And looking at your rugby career beyond the Toyota Cheetahs, jy het 'n bietjie rugby gaan speel daarso in Frankryk en ook in Japan. Hoe verskil die rugby in Japan en Frankryk teenoor rugby in Suid-Afrika en hoe het jy eintlik die kultuur ervaar in daai lande?
Ja, ek moet sê ek was gelukkig geweest by al twee clubs waar ek was. Toe ek Frankryk toe was daai tyd was al baie Suid-Afrikaners geweest. Ek dink ons was 5 of 6 geweest daai tyd toe ek daar aangekom het. So dit het deur vir my baie makliker gemaak om gewoon te raak aan die kultuur, om in te pas by almal. Ek bedoel, ou kan nie dadelik die taal praat nie. So ou luister maar vir die ouens rondom jou wat darm al bietjie kan verstaan. So dit het my baie gehelp om aan te kom met ander ouens wat kan praat en verstaan. So dit het my gehelp. In Frankryk, en die kultuur, ek het baie tyd vir die Franse. Ek weet baie mense sê hulle het nie tyd vir die Franse nie. Maar my tyd was wonderlik daar gewees. Ek het dit geniet. Ek het die taal geniet. Ek het die mense geniet. Ek het die omgewing geniet. Frankryk is 'n plek na my hart waar ek enige tyd weer sal teruggaan as die geleentheid kom. En om Japan toe te gaan was ook great geweest. Daar was self weer 'n paar Suid-Afrikaners geweest. Van hier af het ek en Reniel en Clinton oorgegaan. So ons was klaar 3 van hier af geweest. En dit het dit vir ons makliker gemaak, want dit is iemand wat jy ken, dis iemand wat jy weet van, wat jy verstaan, met wie jy kan praat. En in Japan het hulle maar die translators wat heeltyd op die veld is, wat in die meeting is. So, hulle het geen behoefte gehad dat ons die taal fisies hoef te leer nie. Dit het ons gehelp, daar heeltyd iemand is wat jou help met die Engels. En ek dink, die Japaneese is ongelooflike mense. Hulle gaan uit hulle pad uit om jou net te laat tuis voel, om jou gelukkig te hou, om seker te maak dat jy voel jy is op 'n plek waar jy wil wees. So ek dink die Japaneese is 'n land wat ons nie eintlik ken in Suid-Afrika nie. Die omgee wat hulle het vir mekaar, die respek wat hulle het vir mekaar. Dit is net 'n wonderlike land, dink ek, vir enigiemand om as iemand 'n land wil besoek en daartoe gaan. Ek weet dis die laaste land op enige iemand se lysie om te gaan besoek, maar dit is 'n wonderlike plek dink ek om te wees, dit Japan.
Fantasties. En as ons nou kyk 'n bietjie na die Currie beker, julle het laas jaar na die Currie beker gewen in Suid-Afrika en daar's baie druk met hierdie seisoen wat nou voorlê wat in so 2 weke begin. Hoe voel jy die span sover en mees belangrik, is daar druk op die span om weer 'n keer die Currie beker te lig?
Ek dink soos jy sê, die druk is daar, maar ek dink is 'n positiewe druk. Ek dink die hele land en selfs die spelers almal sien uit vir 'n volsterkte Currie Cup hierdie jaar. By die laaste paar jaar was dit maar afgewaterde Currie Cup gewees. So ek dink persoonlik vir Vrystaat en die Cheetahs, ons sien baie uit vir 'n volsterkte Currie Cup. Ek dink dis die eerste keer in jare wat almal weer self kan meet teen mekaar. Ek dink jong ouetjies wat wil deurkom, wat 'n kans wil hê, vorentoe sien uit om teen Springbokke te speel, ouens wat wêreldbekers gewen het. So ek dink dit maak dit 'n goeie geleentheid vir jong ouetjies om weer te kan speel hierdie jaar. En ek dink veral met 'n ou soos Roan en Fransie wat hy is, dit help jonger ouetjies ongelooflik baie. En ek dink dit gee vir ons weer lus van vooraf om vir al die jong ouetjies om saam sulke ouens te speel, want jy wil goed speel. Jy wil in daai ouens se standaarde voldoen. Jy wil hê daai ou moet sê, hoor hier, maar hierdie jong ouetjie doen goed. Hierdie jong ouetjie is op standaard. Verstaan, jy wil daai tap op die skouer hê van sulke ouens af. En ek dink dis 'n positiewe gevoel wat hier by die Vrystaat is. Ek dink die ouens is opgewonde, ek dink die ouens is lus en ek dink die ouens brand net om op die veld te kom oor 2 weke. So ek dink daar's baie opwinding by Vrystaat. Al is die druk daar, dink ek is 'n positiewe druk vir Vrystaat om vorentoe te gaan.
Fantasties. En ek weet oor die volgende 2 naweke speel julle teen die Griekwas in 2 warm-up matches. Hoe voel die span sover en jy het genoem julle het so 3 weke terug begin met lekker kontak oefensessies. Hoe voel die lywe? Is die manne reg vir die harde impak van rugby?
Ek dink die lywe was maar seer gewees aan die begin gewees. Ek dink, jy weet ons het begin altyd met 'n skouer check en as jy weet is dit maar vol kontak. So eventueel raak elke oefening maar op die einde vol kontak. Maar ek dink almal geniet dit. Ek dink daar's 'n goeie gees in die tussen die ouens oor die kontak en ek dink daar's nie kwaad gevoelens hier want dit is maar deel van dit. So ek dink die lywe was seer gewees na daai 2 wedstryde wat ons net teen mekaar gespeel het. Dis maar anders om so teen mekaar te speel want die ouens ken mekaar se bewegings en jy weet wat hulle gaan doen. So jy kan nie veel daai uitvat nie, maar ek dink vir Saterdag se wedstryd wat nou voor lê in die Griekwas, dink ek die ouens is baie opgewonde. Ek dink die gees gaan anders wees. Ek dink die gevoel gaan anders wees, want dit gaan voel soos 'n regte wedstryd nou, dit gaan voel soos iets anders, jy kan die ouens omkant vang, niemand weet wat jy gaan doen nie, so ek dink die ouens se mindset gaan verskriklik anders wees teen Saterdag as ons op daai veld draf, so ek dink die ouens is opgewonde.
Oh, fantastic. And looking at your rugby career, I mean, you still have a few more years lying ahead for you. And I mean, you've played internationally in terms of club rugby. You're currently playing for the Toyota Cheetahs. Is there one specific thing that you would still love to achieve in your rugby career? That one thing that you say, if I can do that, I'll definitely be proud of myself?
Yes, for me, I think every boy's dream is to eventually wear the green and gold, but it's not meant for everyone. So eventually, if I get that chance one time in my life, I'll appreciate it, and I think that will be the highlight of my career. But for me, it will just be to enjoy my rugby for the next few years, contribute to the Cheetahs where I can at the moment, and I'd love to win a Currie Cup with the Cheetahs because I was here in 2016, but I was injured in the middle of the season, so I didn't play in the final. Last year they won it, so I'd like to get a Currie Cup win behind me. That would be awesome for me and a highlight in my career, and just take my career year by year, season by season, and just enjoy it for the next couple of years with my family and my friends, and just take the best out of it.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. And I can promise you one thing, that we as South African rugby fans, and specifically us right here in Bloemfontein, will be watching your journey quite closely and hoping that you achieve all your dreams and goals. And most importantly, definitely maybe putting on the green and gold for the Springboks. Carl Wegner, I just simply want to say thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to just chat to us and to share the excitement as we build up to the restart of rugby. And we look forward to that warm-up against the Griquas this coming weekend. Carl Wegner, baie dankie.
And thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Dankie dat julle my gou gehad het vanoggend. Ek waardeer dit. Julle moet goed gaan na en dankie. Ons luister graag elke oggend na julle en ons waardeer wat julle vir ons doen elke dag.
Touchdown with Aaron Masemola. On the bench with local legends. OFM Sport. The personalities behind the plays.